everyone, and thanks for watching this poster video. You can access the poster by scanning this QR code. My name is Amir Masoumi. I'm an associate professor of management at Manhattan College, New York, along with my colleagues Minyu from University of Portland, Oregon, Ian Hoffmann from University of Siegen in Germany, and Dong Michel Lee from Babson College in Massachusetts. We're presenting this research titled Performance Analysis of Blood Bank Mergers in View of COVID-19 Pandemic and Beyond. Our group has been researching blood banking systems for over a decade now. We published a number of papers, and for this research, we are focusing on the case of mergers between blood banks. And specifically, we use the case of COVID-19 to analyze the performance of mergers. So let me give you a little bit of background in terms of the some recent trends in blood banking industry. So the demand for blood products has steadily decreased over the past 20 years, roughly by 2% each year. But on the supply side, there has been a lot of fluctuations in the past, just in the past like 5, 6 years, and specifically during COVID, on the supply side, there were several fluctuations. Also, in terms of the age group and the percentage of blood donations by age group, there were some significant changes. In our research, we are focusing on a case of mergers between two blood banks located in Northern and Central California. These two blood banks, one of them Blood Centers of the Pacific and Blood Source. The merger between these two blood banks was announced in 2015 and was completed in 2016. As a result of the merger, you can see that the supply chain network of these two blood banks somehow merged in a way that they were able to share some resources. So in this network topology, each node represents a facility. So you can see the list of these facilities starting with the merged organization and then the administration of each of those organizations, followed by blood collection zones, and then blood centers, which are in charge of collecting and then uh, manufacturing, meaning like fractionating blood components. The testing for blood products happens at the same time in separate locations. And then finally, distributing blood through distribution centers to demand points, which are hospitals. So we used a number of demand scenarios to analyze the performance of the mergers. And when we say performance of the mergers, we are focusing on uh, two measures. One of them is the cost synergy, that blood banks are nonprofit organizations. So the main goal for them is to seek operational efficiency by lowering costs as a result of the merger. And also the other one is shortage synergy, meaning that they're trying to reduce the amount of shortage uh, for blood products. So we used three different scenarios. One of them is the baseline scenario, that's like the pre-COVID scenario. And then the lockdown scenario, these are the first 5 weeks of the COVID-19 pandemic, and then a return to normal scenario. Uh, Specifically, that's the case of July of 21. So in each of these three scenarios, we are comparing the total weekly operating cost of those individual organizations, Blood Source and Blood Centers of the Pacific, with that of the merged organization. As you can see, in each of these three scenarios, baseline, lockdown, and the return to normal, you'll see that the weekly operating cost is lower than those of the combined organizations. You can see that for the return to normal, this difference is even a bit higher. For weekly shortage penalty, you can see that as a result of the merger, there's some significant gain or synergy. And specifically in the case of return to normal scenario, the penalty corresponding to shortage will drop as high as like 35%. We also did some sensitivity analysis and we realized that the shortage synergy is actually robust until and up to like 10% above the current demand numbers, but the cost synergy is pretty robust throughout various demand ranges. So what we conclude in this research is that blood banks can seek operational efficiency and lower the total cost, as well as stabilize their supply of blood when it makes sense for two adjacent blood banks to merge. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm hoping you stop by my poster and we can talk in person on Monday the 15th.